Sunday baseball in Milwaukee, Wisconsin will decide a series winner between the Arizona Diamondbacks and Milwaukee Brewers at Miller Park. It's the rubber match of the rematch between NLDS opponents from a year ago. Josh Cole-Minter pitched Game 3, pitched well for the Diamondbacks during that series, and Giovanni Gallardo will take the rubber, and he's 6-0 in his last 6 regular season starts against the Diamondbacks. Both pitchers have great track records. Good afternoon, and welcome back to Miller Park. Alongside Davey Nelson, I'm Telly Hughes. The first 2 games of this series, the offenses have been the storylines, but Mike Fiers and his pitching last night stole some of that spotlight. Fiers pitched 6 scoreless and allowed 2 hits while striking out a career-high 10 Diamondbacks, David.
Yes, he did, and he was outstanding. As you saw in the first inning, he threw almost 30 pitches, but then settled in, had his command, got great breaking stuff over, good changeups, and he was dominating them.
And that was more than enough for a Brewers offense that belted out 13 hits, 4 of which were home runs in the 10-2 win. Good to see the Brewers bats get hot. The All-Star votes are in, and Ryan Braun is once again a part of the cast. We'll have more on who might follow him to Kansas City.
Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota, when you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Game 3, the Diamondbacks and the Brewers, the rubber match of this 3-game series, getting closer to first pitch. But moments ago, the skipper Ron Renneke met with Ryan Braun on All-Star Selection Sunday.
Ryan, great news again for you. You made the All-Star team again. So
that's awesome.
Nice going.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, the great thing is you deserve it. You've played great again this year. A little different this year. You're usually voted in by the fans. This year, your peers voted you in, which I think is also a great honor. I think for a player, when other players and coaches feel that way about you, that means a lot.
Hi, everybody. Alongside Bill Shorter, I'm Craig Kashan. Welcome to Game 3, the Brewers and the Diamondbacks. And, of course, Ryan Braun making the All-Star game once again for the Brewers, his 5th consecutive trip to the Midsummer Classic. The lone Brewer to make the All-Star game, at least at this point. But Ryan Braun, previous 4 years a starter. This time, though, voted in by his peers, Rob.
The fans do a nice job voting for the All-Star starters, and you can see the outfield. Melky Cabrera, the Giants, really having a nice year. Carlos Beltran, no surprise, he's having a big-time season with the Cardinals. Now, the wild card here, Matt Kemp in center field. He's on the disabled list. Not sure if he's going to be able to play. The Dodgers say he's not going to be able to play, so there's still an opportunity for Ryan Braun to start the All-Star game. It's not guaranteed, but when you look at the numbers for Ryan Braun, just another incredible season since June 14th. Look what he's been able to do. 321 batting average, 7 home runs. He had a couple of big home runs in yesterday's ball game. Certainly an All-Star. Not a surprise that he's going to be on his 5th All-Star team, and just a pleasure to watch this guy on a day in and day out basis.
Ryan Braun, those 2 home runs yesterday, 2 of the 4 the Brewers were able to belt in last night's game. They hope to stay hot offensively for Game 3 coming up in moments. Welcome back to Miller Park. A glorious Sunday afternoon for baseball. Game 3, the Diamondbacks and the Brewers about to get underway. We should have another nice crowd on hand here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Kirk Gibson, the Diamondbacks manager, has his club with a 19-21 record on the road, and they're right back in contention in the National League West, only 4 games behind His Piggly Wiggly starting lineup: Willie Bloomquist taking his warm-ups. He will lead off. Stephen Drew, then Justin Upton. The top three we will see in this order. Jason Kubel bats cleanup. He struck out 4 times in yesterday's game. We'll also see former Brewer Lyle Overbay. And Giovanni Gallardo set to take the mound for the Brew Crew, making his 17th start of the season, and he has owned the Diamondbacks in his career.
Yeah, he's 6-0 with a 1.21 earned run average against Arizona in 6 starts. He beat the Diamondbacks in Arizona 7-1 in May, and he has been throwing the baseball well. 4 consecutive quality starts for Gallardo.
And you see the uniforms being worn by the Brewers today. Barai is on their jersey. Of course, that's to honor Italian Heritage Day here in Milwaukee. The Diamondbacks also participating, so some special uniforms on hand here today. And Gallardo starts out with the ball. There's Cody Ramson over at short. The colors of green and red and white of Italy.
It took me until about a half an hour to understand why we had green polo shirts on today.
We're trying to participate.
Exactly. I didn't get that. So well done, whoever's in charge of the wardrobe.
Well, we have special agents on that, trust me. And they did a good job selecting today. So we'll see what Giovanni Gallardo can do here against the Diamondbacks. The Brewers winning last night's game 10-2, thumping Arizona pitching by belting 4 home runs. And Mike Fiers doing the job on the hill. 6 strong innings of shutout baseball, and the Brewers definitely needed to even up the series yesterday after losing Friday night 9-3. So a couple of slugfest victories for each team so far in this series.
And Mike Fiers very impressive. He got out to a slow start, had men on base in the first 3 innings, but able to settled down, retired the last 11 in a row for Fiers. Outstanding work.
Bloomquist into center. Niger Morgan floats over and makes the catch. Let's take a look at that defense behind Giovanni Gallardo. Brought to you by Menards. It's Braun, Morgan, and Aoki left to right. Ramirez, Ransom, Weeks, and Hart across the infield. Martin Maldonado behind the plate for Giovanni Gallardo. Perfect day for baseball. 85 degrees, partly cloudy, roof wide open here at Miller Park this afternoon. Had some warm, dry weather here so far this summer in Wisconsin. 1 down for Stephen Drew. Drew was the leadoff batter in yesterday's game, settling in at shortstop after spending some time on the disabled list. So you could see by those numbers at 167, nowhere to go up for Stephen Drew.
Yeah, it's been almost a year for Drew. He tore up his ankle last year, early in the season, and has been on a disabled list since, and not quite 100%. It's just a matter, according to Kirk Gibson, their manager, of getting him some playing time, getting him some at-bats, and see where he's going to be able to get to.
And he'd like to settle him in at shortstop. He's played both spots in that left side of the infield for Kirk Gibson. Want to get some more playing time for guys like Willie Bloomquist. Ryan Roberts has started at third in this series as well. Ed Hickox is calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Angel Hernandez, the crew chief, over at second base. Mark Carlson and Chris Conroy on the bases as well. That's our umpiring crew for Game 3 this afternoon. 2-2 to Drew as Giovanni Gallardo gets the target from Martin Maldonado and strikes him out. So 2 down here in the first inning. Speaking of striking out, Mike Fiers on fire last night. 10 strikeouts, a career high for the young Brewer starter.
And a lot of those looking. He walked 3, which is a lot for Mike Fiers. Coming into the game, he'd only walked 5, but a little bit shaky, as I mentioned, in the first 3 innings. The Diamondbacks left 5 stranded in the first 3, but again, he retired the last 11 in a row. Outstanding work. Back-to-back starts for Mike Fiers, has not allowed a run.
That was his first home win as a Milwaukee Brewer. Has been outstanding on the road and really picked up after a couple of strong road victories recently here to pick up the win yesterday. But you mentioned a lot of pitches early, 31 in that first inning alone.
Number 5 starters for the Brewers, at least the guys that have filled in for the number 5 starter, Chris Narveson, have both done a nice job. Marco Estrada, Mike Fiers. Very good work from the bottom of the rotation for Milwaukee.
Yovani Gallardo works against Justin Upton, the Arizona right fielder. 277 on the season. Justin Upton, an All-Star a year ago. Was also an All-Star back in the 2009 campaign for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, this is a guy that the Diamondbacks are waiting to, get going. He's been kind of treading water. The average not too bad. Run production down a little bit. When this guy gets hot, he can carry it for a while. Some kind of player.
Kirk Gibson, the manager of the year last year in the National League. 2-2 to Upton. And Gallardo misses outside. Full count. Yovani Gallardo beat the Diamondbacks back on May 25th in Phoenix 7-1. Pitched into the 8th inning. Only gave up a single run in that game in that Brewer victory. And he strikes out Upton, so a good start for Yovani Gallardo. 3 up and 3 down, including a couple of strikeouts. And the All-Star Ryan Braun due up as we go to the bottom half of the first. Brewers skipper in his club, 19-19 here at Miller Park, trying to get over the 500 mark and get himself a winning record like a year ago. His Piggly Wiggly batting order. Nori Aoki will lead off once again, playing right field. It's going to be Morgan and the All-Star Ryan Braun all due up this half of the first. Ramos Ramirez, the third baseman. Hart Weeks, Ransom over at short. Maldonado and Yovani Gallardo. There's your Piggly Wiggly batting order. And here's Josh Colmenter, set to make his 6th start. And the first pitch, Aoki lays down a bunt. Colmenter handles it for the first out.
And Josh Colmenter has been the swing man for this Diamondbacks pitching staff.
Let's take a look at that defense behind Colmenter. Out of that outfield, Gerardo Parra, a Gold Glover in left last year, mostly settling in due to Jason Kubel playing in left field. Agent pickup. Miguel Montero behind the plate for Josh Colmenter here this afternoon. And he faces Niger Morgan with one down, the Brewers center fielder. A lot of All-Star talk today on Selection Sunday. Of course, Ryan Braun due up on deck. He will be playing in his 5th All-Star game. And surprisingly, Rock, I think around these parts, without a doubt that so far anyway, He's the lone Brewer representative. Zach Greinke was not named to the All-Star team. Doesn't mean he can't be as the week progresses, but not named today.
No, you can be on the All-Star team if you're a pitcher and not able to pitch. In other words, if your time is slotted, if you pitch on Sunday before the All-Star game, you can't really be on the active All-Star roster. So if that in fact is the case with one of the pitchers, at least the starter, Zach Greinke, could possibly be named. You don't know, but certainly when you talk about snubs to the All-Star team, I think Brewer fans will agree that Zach Greinke, somewhat a surprise that he didn't make it.
Andrew Morgan staying alive at the plate on the 3-2 count. Greinke 9-2 with a 2.82 ERA. He is scheduled to pitch tomorrow and again on Saturday, so he would fall right into that category of being able to pitch in the All-Star game on Tuesday. Morgan takes called strike 3, and in somewhat disbelief goes to the dugout. Now 2 down for Ryan Braun, and yesterday Ryan Braun back into the Wisconsin Powerball home run count. Ryan Braun with number 21, and in back-to-back plate appearances it's number 22. So Ryan Braun now in front in the National League.
And not only back-to-back plate appearances, but back-to-back innings. A home run in the third, a solo shot, and that one you just saw to left field, a 3-run shot in the fourth. Brewers with a 6-run fourth inning yesterday to separate themselves from the Diamondbacks last night.
Impressive numbers for the All-Star Ryan Braun. 313, 22 home runs and 55 RBIs, and continues to be among the league leaders in offensive power in the National League. Take a look at the Brewers Powerball home run leaderboard. Braun with 22, Corey Hart 15, and Ramirez next with 9. That list including all former All-Stars as Ryan Braun strikes out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Pullmenter. No scores. We go to the second.
I'm Drew Olson. As Craig and Rock mentioned before, Ryan Braun will make his 5th consecutive trip to the All-Star game next week, but it won't be as a member of the starting lineup. Braun finished 4th in the fan balloting, but he finished 3rd in the balloting by the players and the coaches and made the team as a reserve. After the announcement this morning, we talked to Ryan Braun and got his reaction.
It's a tremendous honor. You know, I think for all of us as players, there's nothing more meaningful than having your peers recognize the success you've had on the field. So it's certainly something I'm really proud of and a really cool accomplishment.
As the balloting heated up, a lot of people thought it was a battle between Melky Cabrera and Ryan Braun to start in left field. As it turned out, Giants fans really turned out the vote. Melky Cabrera was the leading vote getter, again, among National League outfielders. And if you look at the starting lineup for the National League, Buster Posey was the leading vote getter among all National Leaguers, 7.6 million ballots. And they got Pablo Sandoval into the starting lineup as well. The Giants did a great job turning out the vote. They also had a couple of players finish second. Here are the American League starters for the game as announced today. No real surprises there. There's Prince Fielder at first base starting for Detroit. That's his 4th straight All-Star game. I'm sure he and Ryan Braun will share some memories as they get together. Now, guys, there's some controversy, as always, with some players that were snubbed and left off the lineup. But that's kind of what baseball likes about the All-Star game. It gets people talking in the middle of the season.
Well, it certainly does. And it's some great chatter. We've already had some context about the lack of not having Zach Greinke named to that team around these parts already. And don't forget the Midsummer Classic coming up on July 10th. It's right around the corner on Fox. Live from Kansas City, 6:30 Central is the start time of that broadcast. And we have a delay here at Miller Park. We are going to come back in just a moment. It's the Diamondbacks and the Brewers, Game 3. In the top of the second, and we are delayed here at the ballpark. There's a very serious incident going on in the Brewer bullpen that we understand is not player related, but the paramedics are there addressing an issue out there, and we are uncertain at this point any further details, but there is a delay in the ball game as paramedics are out in that Brewer bullpen right now. So while they try to get to that issue, we are going to take a break and come back here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. For the second inning, the Diamondbacks and the Brewers here in Game 3. You see out in the Brewer bullpen in the distance, the paramedic unit here at Miller Park are attending to a serious medical issue out there, and the Brewer players have tried to clear out of the bullpen area, and we don't know exactly what the situation there is. We are not sure if it involves a Brewer player now. We don't think so at this point, but because of the seriousness of this medical issue, the game is delayed right now. There is no score here in this ball game, just getting underway. It's been a 3 up and 3 down for both the Diamondbacks and the Brewers here in the first inning. So unfortunate bit of news here, but the medical staff is out there. One of the Brewer team physicians, Dr. Mark Neitfeld, is also out there, and they're trying to do what they can.
Right.
It's obviously an emergency situation.
And we certainly don't know what's happening out there, but it does look serious. But hopefully everything's going to work out.
We're going to step aside and come back here to Miller Park. Resume action here in the next couple of minutes. The paramedics were dealing with a medical issue out in the Brewer bullpen, and we are informed by the team it is a non-uniform personnel. So no Brewer players were involved in that, and so because it was out in the bullpen, though, the players cleared out of the bullpen and gave the medical staff the room to address the situation, and now the ambulance here at Miller Park has left the playing surface. So now Giovanni Gallardo is going to take a few warm-up tosses and get re-warmed up so we can start the top of the second inning. And certainly our thoughts and prayers go out in a very serious situation here at Miller Park.
Yeah,
so,
the fact that it's not a uniform personnel doesn't soften the blow at all here at Miller Park, but hopefully everything's going to work out, and that individual is going to be okay, and Giovanni Gallardo is going to be allowed to take a few extra warm-up tosses as we head to the second inning. It certainly does put baseball in a different perspective as we go forward, that's for sure.
Well, it certainly does, especially when it involves a good portion of your team out there in the bullpen. So Giovanni Gallardo taking a few extra warm-ups, and looks like he is set to go. And Giovanni Gallardo looked very good in his last start against the Cincinnati Reds, certainly pitching well enough to put the team in position to win. 6 strong innings, just 2 earned runs given up, but another one of those tough losses by Milwaukee on the road, as it turned out.
Yeah, 3-1 loss, and we mentioned that Giovanni has had 4 consecutive quality starts. He's only allowed 9 earned runs in that stretch, and the month of June was very good to Gallardo. Of course, his first start in the month of June, not that good. That was against the Cubs, but everything else, the 4 starts after that, is the Giovanni Gallardo that you're used to seeing out there on the mound.
Well, the astonishing thing to look at with Giovanni Gallardo is how certain pitchers can have no success against one team and then all the success against another team. And against Arizona in his career, a 6-0 mark, a 1.21 ERA, and that also includes a win earlier this season in Arizona. 6 starts and a 6-0 record for Giovanni Gallardo. So he's set to face Jason Kubel here to lead off the second inning for Arizona. And how about Kubel's month of June? 27 RBIs, the most in the National League.
Yeah, he's been a nice pickup from the Twins in the offseason for these Diamondbacks.
Kubel yesterday, though, had a very tough way to end the month. He struck out 4 times, but Kubel against Giovanni Gallardo back on May 23rd, homering.
Yep, the only run that Gallardo allowed in that start was a 7-1 Brewers victory.
Giovanni Gallardo in those 6 career starts against the Diamondbacks that I mentioned. The only active pitcher in the majors with 6 or more starts against one team, having won each start against that team. But how about Kubel here, all the way to the wall, and Nigel Morgan there to haul it in. A loud out.
That ball looks like it's carrying pretty well here at Miller Park. That didn't sound like Kubel got all of it, but he's strong. He took Morgan all the way to the wall in center.
You know you're going a long ways back when you creep into the shadows to try to get it out. So 1 down for Miguel Montero, the Diamondbacks catcher. Good solid season at .279, including 8 home runs and 43 RBIs for Montero. In fact, over his last 9 games, a .483 clip and 10 RBIs. Great offensive numbers and one of the best defensive catchers in the game as well. Two balls and a strike on Montero. So June is over. The Brewers had a 12-win, 14-loss month of June. The Diamondbacks were 16-10. Almost hard to believe it's July 1st today, but we are talking about the All-Star game coming up right around the corner.
Yep, 4th of July right around the corner on Wednesday.
Brewers have kind of an interesting week of game times this week. One night game tomorrow at its normal time, and then Tuesday and Wednesday 3 p.m. starts. As Montero strikes out, that's 3 strikeouts for Giovanni Gallardo.
And then Thursday, before the team goes to Houston, a 1:10 start. So yeah, a lot going on.
A lot going on for this guy on Friday. Aaron Hill hits for the cycle. He had himself the most productive day you can accomplish as a player, unless you're able to do it twice in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he did.
11-day stretch. He had 2 cycles. That's amazing. Aaron Hill not on the All-Star team, although he is one of the 4 that is going to be on the internet vote for the All-Star team. That's a pretty good season for a middle infielder and not making the All-Star team. No, and that's the interesting thing, as Drew Olson was talking about. You're always going to get that banter. You're going to get, teams and fan base is going to be complaining about snubs. Even if you have 50 guys on a team, there's always going to be somebody where you feel like they've been left off.
It's just like Selection Sunday for the NCAA basketball tournament, or who's not 1 and 2 in the race for the BCS championship. Always going to be talk.
Yeah.
Always going to be somebody that feels left out.
And that's good for baseball, really. That's an interesting name right there, the ID backs.
They're participating in our Italian Day here at Miller Park. Ricky Weeks, tough play, and Hill beats it out for an infield single. Weeks doing all he could, ranging to his right.
Aaron Hill doing a nice job with 2 strikes. Gallardo with a fastball, got a little bit too much of the plate with it on a 1-2 count. And Ricky got it, but no chance to get him out at first.
So Hill on base again in this series. His 6th hit in this 3-game set. That brings up the former Brewer Lyle Overbay, starting at first base today.
Man, Ryan's got a nice curveball so far today. He's got that strikeout pitch working for him in the early going. It's always a good sign for Gallardo.
Here's a good look at the uniforms the Brewers are wearing. Barai means brewer of beer in Italian. The green and red uniforms in the bright red hats certainly stand out today if you're just tuning in. About as opposite of gold and blue as it gets right there.
Yep, Peroni, the beer of choice. A Miller product, we're
There
allowed
you
to
go.
say it.
Gallardo bounces one in, 2-1. Good stop behind the plate there by Maldonado. Even have the catcher's gear and the shoes to match as well for all of this.
These guys' style. It doesn't matter what color they're wearing. They're going to find gear to match. How do you get the fancy mask to match, though? I mean, it takes some advanced planning.
Well, these days, you know, Rock, are blocked out. Maldonado can't control that pitch there, so the wild pitch advances the runner to second, and Aaron Hill now in scoring position.
It's kind of expensive to get a mask done like that for one game, isn't it? Maldonado did his best to try and smother it, but Aaron Hill with a good lead, good jump, and he's in scoring position with 2 outs.
Here's the 3-1. Overbay offered. 3-2.
Yeah, not giving in, went with the backdoor slider.
Gallardo with 3 strikeouts already in this game. Here's the full count pitch to Overbay. He fouls another one off.
Hey, come out to Miller Park for the Negro Leagues tribute game on Saturday, July 28th. The Brewers will wear special uniforms as a tribute to the Milwaukee Bears. Call 414-902-4000.
And at Overbay offer. No, he did not. He checked his pitch, ball 4, so 2 aboard here with 2 down in the second inning.
Overbay just did not look very comfortable in that entire at bat. Didn't get very good swings. Went after that one, but it looked like he was able to hold up. That's that strikeout curveball that Overbay was able to lay off.
So Overbay over at first. Gerardo Parra now the center fielder and the 8th batter for the Diamondbacks. Parra officially 0 for 2 in this series. Takes a half swing, strike 1.
Good slider, good block by Maldonado.
Parra at 268. He'll pop a home run on you. He's got 6. Ball outside, 1-1. Parra, Gold Glover a year ago in left field, and then when they acquired Jason Kubel, he's been getting more playing time and starts in center field where he is today. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
A good fastball up out of the zone, and Parra, kind of a half swing, swings right through it. He's got good stuff today. You can tell early on.
Here's the 1-2. High outside, 2-2 now. The Dodgers have lost 7 straight games, and suddenly Arizona playing a little more consistent baseball as of late. Only 4 games behind in the National League West as we open up play here this afternoon. Parra fouls another one back.
The Dodgers are having a tough time scoring runs. They got shut out 4 of 5 games, including all 3 games against the Giants.
Well, the pitching of San Francisco will slow your offense down in a hurry no matter who you are. But of course, Matt Kemp's been out for a while. Even without him in the lineup, the Dodgers kept cruising along. Strike 3 called on Parra. He argues, but Giovanni Gallardo now with 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. The second against Arizona. Sundays on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall, the personal stories of some of baseball's greatest legends. Today it's Duke Snider. Boys in the Hall after the game, presented by Subway Restaurants, where winners eat. Brewers go to bat here in the bottom of the second. Aramis Ramirez will lead off for Milwaukee. Brewers wearing the green jerseys with the red trim to honor Italian Heritage Day here in Milwaukee. Set forth by the Brewer organization. 262, 9 home runs and 45 RBIs for Ramirez. Kind of a quiet series, just 1 hit so far as he enters his 3rd game. And how about that for a wake up? Hit well to left, but not far enough. And the out made out there by Kubel. Took a hack at that first pitch.
And a little bit down on the end at 87 with a fastball. Colmentor, not a flamethrower, but when you consider he's got that very good changeup that a lot of hitters are going to have to be looking at. 90 miles an hour seems a lot quicker. But Corey Hart got things going for Milwaukee in yesterday's game. led off with a triple in the second. He would score on a wild pitch. The Brewers actually were able to score in 5 consecutive innings, including a 6-run 4th inning.
That got him to 10 runs just that fast. A 10-2 win yesterday. Corey Hart at 251 on the season. 26 start over at first base today. And I'll tell you what, if he began the season at first base the way he's been playing defense, he might have been considered for a spot on that All-Star team. I know his average is below his standards right now at 251, but nearly Gold Glove work over there.
Yeah, he has been tremendous. Brian LaHare, first baseman for the Cubs, made the All-Star team.
Hart flies out to right. Corey without an error since he took over first base.
I think everybody very surprised. I don't think anybody thought that he couldn't do it. But I think most people felt as though it was going to take a while for Corey to become comfortable over there. But he has been very good right from the beginning.
So now you brought up the Cubs in the All-Star game. Two All-Stars for the Cubs.
Right.
One for the Brewers.
Right.
There's your I-94 rivalry in the next stage right there. LaHare and Castro make it for the Cubs. Braun makes it for the Brewers.
You're trying to bait me, aren't you?
I'm trying to stir things up.
You are trying to bait me.
I'm just saying this. I'm looking at the roster. That's what I'm seeing.
Come on now. It's the day of rest. I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Ricky Weeks with 2 down. Faces Colementor. Tony La Russa, the National League manager, making a lot of these selections and getting input. Weeks, nice play by Overbay. Colementor covers, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Head to the 3rd, no score. The Italian uniforms, Barai. And fans, you have a number of ways to get interactive with us on social media each game during our broadcast. You can tweet your questions to our handle at FS Wisconsin. You can also follow The Rock, Bill Schroeder, and myself as well with our handles. The Rock's at Brewers Fan Camp, and myself, my name, very simple, Craig Kishon, right? Get going with that. We'll have something for you a little bit later on and get some interaction going, answer some questions. You always like to do that.
Yeah.
Get some good information out.
Tweet us some questions. We'll answer them via the Twitter account, or maybe even pop one up on the air from time to time. I'm starting to enjoy that, you know.
I knew you would after a while.
I am.
It's kind of fun to share information and and answer questions.
I don't get into the personal type things, you know, like going to fill my car up with gas or something like that. But what I do tweet out is, you know, scouting report or kind of a little bit of preview of the pitching matchup. Maybe some interesting facts that correspond to what's going on during the game, and that's been fun.
One of our pitching facts here is pitcher versus pitcher as Cole Mentor faces Giovanni Gallardo here to lead off the third. So now you wouldn't tweet out that you were filling up gas, but who does that for you? Who usually fills up your gas?
I do.
You do it yourself.
What, are you kidding me?
I know you have a filter for.
Do you have people that fill up your gas tank?
Never. There's a strikeout to lead the third.
Yeah, high fastball, tough for any pitcher to get to that one.
5 strikeouts for Giovanni Gallardo.
I don't have people to do anything for me except for my Twitter account. I have 2 very capable individuals to keep me from getting myself in trouble.
That's a very good way of going about using a staff. I like that. Top of the order, and Willie Bloomquist with 1 down here in the third. He flew out to center field to lead off the ball game. Grounder to short. Ramson takes care of it. 2 down. So Gallardo cruising along here. He's only given up a single and a walk so far early in this game. 2 down here in the third. And Stephen Drew, who struck out back in the first, steps in against Gallardo. Drew in limited action so far in the season, still without a home run or an RBI. Talked about Braun being the Brewers' lone representative in the All-Star game. Wade Miley, Diamondbacks starting pitcher, who the Brewers got to pretty good in yesterday's game, who for most of this season has looked untouchable.
Yeah, he's thrown very well. Here's another guy that started the year not in the rotation for the Diamondbacks.
Brewers got to him yesterday, and Yo looking like an all-star here today. Another strikeout for Gallardo. That is 6 through 3 innings. Presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. by Ho Chun Gaming, Wisconsin. Your ticket to more. And back here at Miller Park, bottom of the third inning. Josh Colmenter goes to work for the Diamondbacks. No score. The Brewers and the D-backs as Cody Ramson now leads off the inning for Milwaukee. And of course, we're having Italian Heritage Day here, and the walk-up music for Ramson was awesome.
Yeah, the Godfather theme kind of gives you shivers, doesn't it?
Somebody had to do it, right?
Brewers do not have a player that has a last name of Italian descent. So I guess Cody Ramson was the guy that did some walk-up music of the more of the Italian flair.
He's got a look about him, though. I mean, he's got that serious, don't mess with me look, though.
Nobody has the Godfather with Marlon Brando.
Yeah,
come on,
that's a look. That's the look. Ramson now, a ball and 2 strikes. Called strike 3, and Colmenter 1 down. And let's get down to Drew Olson now, next to the Brewer dugout. Drew.
Craig, you and Rock are talking about Italian players on the Brewers roster. I was racking my brain this morning trying to come up with some names. Bob Coluccio, some people may remember the outfielder from the 70s. Sal Bando, Rock's former teammate and friend Chris Bosio. There's Chris Capuano, Frank Catalanato, Jeff D'Amico. The names, once you start going, the names start coming.
Paul
Vinny
Mirabelli.
Rattino, Paul Mirabella.
Yeah,
Mark DeFelice as well. There are a few of them. I was talking to Larry Baldessero, who's a writer, and also the he teaches Italian. He's a professor of Italian at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and a baseball historian and writer. And he's written a lot about Italians in baseball and their impact on the major leagues. Every time the Brewers have an Italian player, Larry spends a lot of time in his locker talking to him about where his family's from and everything. It's kind of cool. And Larry just got back from Italy yesterday. He wasn't going to miss this game, guys.
Yeah, he did write that book. He gave me a copy of that book. Talking about players of Italian descent. Everybody thinks about Joe DiMaggio, of course.
Oh yeah, there's a good list of Italian Americans, if you will, in Major League Baseball. You got Joe DiMaggio on that list, Yogi Berra, Joe Garagiola, Tommy Lasorda, Joe Torre, Mike Piazza. And that's just to name a few. Maldonado just into foul territory and out of reach from Overbay. You know, the first Italian American to play Major League Baseball, I found this today for you.
Okay.
Louis Pisano Dickerson, known back then as Buttercup, Cincinnati Reds, 1878.
Dickerson, huh? That's his
Buttercup Dickerson.
Yeah.
It doesn't reek Italian there with the last name, but
the middle name did.
The middle name did. Pisano.
Pisano, yeah. Good stuff.
So there you go.
You were hard at it this morning, weren't you?
Well, we have to play along here today. If you're putting on the uniform, you got to play along.
Right.
Maldonado is staying alive. Always a good fight at the plate for Martin Maldonado.
How about the scooter, Phil Rizzuto? Is he on your list?
He's on that list as well. Rico Petrocelli. Ron Santos on that list.
Right.
Jim Fregosi. Frank Viola, former Twins pitcher. Maldonado to right. And there are 2 down. Now my list is done, I think.
Okay. That's a nice list, though. If it ends in a valley, you have a chance, right?
You got that right. Here comes Giovanni Gallardo in the Barai uniform for the Brewers here today. Very quiet offensive game so far between these two clubs. The rubber match of this 3-game series. Not the case in the first 2 games.
Well, both of these pitchers throughout their careers have had a lot of success against their respective opponents. Colmenter has not lost to the Brewers. And Gallardo 6-0. There's a good changeup. He's got a very good changeup. He throws right over the top. Watch the delivery right over the top, straight changeup, and Gallardo way out in front of it.
And Giovanni Gallardo strikes out to end the Brewer third inning. Just one hit between these two clubs, owned by the Diamondbacks right now as we head to the fourth. The game, it's all about pitching so far. Giovanni Gallardo out on the hill for the Brewers. He has fanned 6 Arizona Diamondbacks so far. Then on the other side, Josh Colementor has set down 3 Brewers via the strikeout and has not allowed a hit yet in this game as we go to the top of the 4th inning now. And Gallardo, who struck out to end the 3rd, is set to face the Diamondbacks here. Brewers trying to win a home series here. They've been a little more successful recently at home. They won their last 2 home series before they hit the road last week. And of course, just completing a stretch of games where they played 12 of 15 on the road. They're now set for a nice 7-game homestand here over the holiday week before they go to Houston for 3 games next weekend. Then the All-Star break, and they open things up back at home again after that. So if there's time to make some hay, it's time to do it right now for Milwaukee. Justin Upton leads off here in the 4th. And Upton right back at Gallardo for the first out. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question today. Which 2 teams have never had a player hit for the cycle in their franchise history? 2 teams have not had that happen.
That's a good one.
That comes, of course, on the heels of Aaron Hill hitting for the cycle on Friday night here at Miller Park. His 2nd cycle in an 11-game span.
Amazing, isn't it?
Jason Kubel flied out to center his first trip up.
And they say hitting for the cycle is just about as rare as a no-hitter, but not celebrated nearly as much as a no-hitter is. Wonder why.
Well, you know what? That's an interesting question because the numbers are pretty close. We have 294 cycles and 272 no-hitters. Good effort out there by Ransom, but he can't come up with the play, so a base hit for Kubel. I mean, those numbers are pretty close, but you're right, as far as celebrating them and honoring them, not nearly.
Enough headlines and front page news. Yeah, you're right. Thing is, that day on Friday, Paul Goldschmidt, the first baseman, was a triple away from his cycle, so there could have been 2. Not sure if that's ever happened before.
It was rare enough for Hill that a player hasn't done it twice in the same season since 1931. Montero to center field, and Morgan's got it. 2 down.
A lot of first pitch swings off of Gallardo, especially when they're fastballs. I don't think these Diamondbacks want to deal with that curveball. Hey, come out to Miller Park as the Brewers host the Miami Marlins. That starts tomorrow through Thursday, July 2nd through the 5th. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com.
Big 4-game series coming against the newly named, entering this season, Miami.
Yep, Ozzie Guillen coming in with his gang, and Jose Reyes. Anxious to see Giancarlo Stanton, young home run hitter for the Marlins.
They've got some talent there, and they were pretty competitive in that National League East until they hit a slide that brought them to 6 games below 500. They have since then won 3 in a row going into today's action. Big 4-game series starting tomorrow night here at Miller Park. Here's Aaron Hill. We talked about his cycle. There's the National League East standings as it sits going into today. This ball hit well. Morgan going back center field, just down to the warning track for the final out. Miller Park holding the ball so far here. 3.5 in the book, no score. Half of the 4th inning, no score. Arizona and Milwaukee here in game 3 of this 3-game weekend set at Miller Park. Series locked up at a game apiece. First pitch, a strike from Colementor. Colementor struck out 4 Brewers, 2 in the first and 2 in the third. And Aoki hits it far to right field and over the head of Upton, and it bounces into the bullpen. So a ground rule double to lead off the 4th inning for Milwaukee. Good start as Aoki now extends his hitting streak to 8 games.
Well, Justin Upton playing a little bit more shallow than he normally would with Aoki at the plate, but Nori able to center on that pitch that was out over the plate and drill it over the head of Justin Upton, just out of his reach, and into the Diamondbacks bullpen. So a good start to the 4th. First base runner for Milwaukee today.
First hit of the game, first base runner for Milwaukee. And here's Niger Morgan. Oh, and he takes one inside, and it gets past Montero. And how did he not get hit?
Well, look out. Niger able to get himself out of the... There's that hockey background right there. Quick on his feet.
That's right. Spin on the blades. Aoki moves to 3rd with nobody out here in the 4th. An ideal opportunity for the Brewers to pick up at least one and take the lead here in this scoreless game. And Morgan fouls one off back at his teammates right into the Brewer dugout. Niger was caught looking in his first at bat back in the 1st inning. .238 on the season for Niger Morgan. Puts it in play to second base. This will give the Brewers the lead. And out produces an RBI, and Milwaukee will take it right now. It is a 1-0 game here in the 4th.
Now the wild pitch coming back to haunt Josh Colementer, allowing Aoki to get to third base, and good situational hitting by Niger Morgan. The infield back. Gets the ground ball, and the Brewers on the board first.
That brings up the All-Star Ryan Braun. Ryan struck out back in the 1st. See if he can keep his home run swing going. He had 2 yesterday. Our Carsoup.com email the booth question: what is your most memorable moment from Ryan Braun's All-Star game appearances? Mario from Menominee Falls. Ryan hits one to right. Upton back a few steps, makes the catch for the 2nd out.
Number 16.
I think for Ryan Braun, it's always going to be the first time he was in the All-Star game. That was 5 years ago. For me, just seeing Ryan Braun in that game. The interesting thing about the All-Star selections this year is the first time in 6 years that the Brewers have had fewer than 3 players elected to the All-Star game or selected. I mean, not too many teams can say that. 6 straight years the Brewers have had 3 or more guys. Only the Yankees and the Red Sox can say that. That's impressive.
And they've had a starter each of the last 5 years, and right now Braun named as a reserve, but he could get bumped into the starting lineup. Matt Kemp not expected to play for the Dodgers, and he was voted as a starter. So we'll see where Tony La Russa goes in that route. But
ordinarily what it does is the guy that was 4th is going to start the game, but the manager can do as he chooses. We'll see what Tony La Russa has up his sleeve.
Could be something. Ryan Braun was 4th in the voting. Just over 100,000 votes in that number 4 spot. How about Melky Cabrera and the Giants? They had a voting flurry, and he ends up as the top vote getter, followed by Carlos Beltran and then Matt Kemp.
Yeah, that stretch of 3 or more started in 2006 with Carlos Lee, Derek Turnbow, and Chris Capuano. Then in 07, 4 Brewers made it. Prince Fielder, J.J., Francisco Cordero, and Ben Sheets.
Ben Sheets, by the way, was signed to a minor league contract today by the Atlanta Braves.
How about that? Hasn't pitched since 2010.
Ramirez hits it hard, just foul. Last year, of course, for the Brewers, it was Braun, Fielder, and Weeks, all starters. Fielder will start for the American League over at first.
How about Albert Pujols not making the All-Star team?
Just doesn't seem right, does it?
It's probably the first time since he's been in the league.
Yeah, of course, off to a very slow start with his new team. Ramirez strikes out. The Brewers grab the lead here in the fourth. Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine.
Hey, today's time of the game winner is Game On Sports Bar and Grill in Beaver Dam. They call the Brewers in the next 24 hours. They get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite and Peroni here on Italian Heritage Day.
I like that.
Can I add that in there?
I'm glad you did, actually. It shows that you did your Italian research, and I came up with the names, you came up with the brew.
We all have our place.
That's right. The assignments are complete. Lyle Overbay set to lead off here for the Diamondbacks. First pitch of ball from Giovanni Gallardo here in the fifth inning. Brewers grab a 1-0 lead on Nori Aoki's leadoff double back in the fourth, and then Nyjer Morgan brings him in on an infield out. Not a lot of fireworks at all here in game three. It's all about the pitchers, Giovanni Gallardo and Josh Colmenter. And Overbay can check his swing there, 2-1. Midway through game three here on a glorious Sunday afternoon at Miller Park. See the shadows just starting to divide the pitcher's mound and home plate. There's a called strike down Overbay. He walked back in the second inning, his first plate appearance. Up the middle. Ransom, the former Diamondback. And the first down. Let's check in now with Drew Olson.
Craig, time to catch up with the crew in the community. I saw a long line of fans this morning waiting to buy 50-50 raffle tickets, and why not? Last night's winner took home more than $14,000. 50-50 tickets are sold throughout the ballpark, beginning when the gates open through the fourth inning of every home game. And the money is split. 50% of the proceeds support community-based organizations, and 50% go to the lucky winner. Now, I'm not going to reveal any names, but I saw a member of our technical crew purchasing tickets this morning. And if he wins, I think Rock will be putting it on Twitter and we'll be outing him.
There you go.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that as long as he gave me some of it.
Some of the proceeds going to the Schroeder Foundation on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good thing to participate in when you're at Miller Park. No doubt about that.
Another sellout last night here at Miller Park, 41 plus.
They were treated well. Parr up the middle. Ransom, nice play. Spins and just a little bit late. But wow, what a nice job on display again. That defense by Ransom.
Yeah, he's very quick, has very good hands, just not able to get himself in position to make a strong throw over to first base. And Gerardo Parr with good speed down the line, able to make it in there with the third base hit for the Diamondbacks. 3 hits for the Diamondbacks and a walk. All the hits are singles. 2 of them infield hits.
Colementor trying to get Parra over to second on the bunt attempt. You're right with the 2 infield hits, and amazingly not a lot of action here in this game by either team. Aoki's ground rule double, obviously the hardest hit ball, but hits are tough to come by right now. 3 for the Diamondbacks, just 1 for Milwaukee, but the Brewers have the lead.
After 2 slugfests, you figure the rubber mat game of the series is going to be tightly contested, at least so far.
Colementor fails again to get that bunt down. Corey Hart busted in quick from first base. Colementor without a hit so far this season, making just his 6th start of the season. Began the season in the rotation, but failed after 5 starts there. His ERA nearly 8.5. So he went to the bullpen and now is back as a starter, as Arizona's starting pitching staff kind of taking a hit right now.
Yep, Daniel Hudson he's filling in for now. He made an emergency start for Joe Saunders. That was when the Diamondbacks were in Atlanta. He found out that he was going to have to make that start about a half an hour before the ball game. Saunders just couldn't get loose.
Colementor gets it down this time, and the sacrifice complete. So runner in scoring position. Parra moves to second base. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia and do a little Q&A here. Get the answer. Which 2 teams have never had a player hit for the cycle in their franchise history? If you guessed San Diego and the Marlins, you were correct.
It's interesting, the Marlins, that ballpark that they used to play in, a very good triples ballpark. They've always had a bunch of fast players on their team. I would not have thought the Marlins.
So you've got the Padres on that list of no cycles, and aren't they the only ones left without a no-hitter too?
Right. The Mets had one this year.
Mets had one earlier. Willie Bloomquist has got Parr out at second base in scoring position. 2 down here in the 5th.
This one gets a piece of Martin Maldonado. So he got him on the top of the bare hand.
Boy, what a job he's done behind the plate.
Yes, he has.
Jonathan Lucroy continues to make progress each day, recovering from that broken hand.
Probably you can see Lucroy back sometime after the All-Star game, maybe late in July. And we'll see. Just a matter of Lucroy being able to grip the bat, take some swings. And it's on his throwing hand, so that could be an issue as well.
Ball and 2 strikes to Bloomquist. To third, Ramirez. And that's the final out in the 5th. Runner stranded in scoring position. Still 1-0 Milwaukee. 1-0 lead for the Brewers over the Diamondbacks. Just one hit for the Brewers, but they've made the most of it, scoring the game's only run. It was an Aoki double, and he later scored on Morgan's infield out. That action happening last inning in the 4th. Corey Hart loops one into center field, shallow center field, and a nice running catch out there by Parra. Let's check in again now with Drew Olson.
Well, Craig, it's been a good night for the Brewers, a good weekend for the Brewers minor leagues. Yesterday, Seth McClung pitched a strong game as Nashville moved into second place, a tie for second place in its division. The Sounds had to overcome a slow start this season. The Wisconsin Timber Rattlers have won 5 in a row, and Huntsville also won. Guys, you mentioned Ben Sheets has signed a minor league deal with the Atlanta Braves, and he's going to report to their AA team in the Southern League, Mississippi. The 4-time All-Star may not be there long, though. The Braves are looking for insurance because they lost Brandon Beachy to a season-ending elbow injury.
So teams are trying to patch things up across the board, and that's going to be an interesting thing to watch here as the trading deadline hits July 31st. Who's going to sell? Who's going to buy? What position are certain teams going to be in the standings? And that's what the Brewers obviously are facing right now as well.
And that's a killer for Atlanta. Beachy was leading the National League in earned run average. This guy was pitching well. Wow. Ben Sheets back at it.
Ricky Weeks with one down here in the 5th inning. Ricky grounded out to first. His only time up in this game. Baltimore, the Orioles already making a move to shore up some offense. Jim Thome acquired in a trade from the Phillies. He's going to be used strictly as a designated hitter. Big swing and a miss by Weeks. Well, you mentioned Beachy's ERA sitting atop the NL at an even 2.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it? That's a big arm to be without for the Atlanta Braves, who feel as though they're right in the thick of things in the East.
Weeks hits it hard and into the gap, all the way to the wall. Upton can't get to it, and Weeks will trot into second base with a 1-out double. So Milwaukee's second hit. They are both doubles, and a runner immediately in scoring position here in the 5th.
Oh, what a nice swing by Ricky. Boy, if he could do more of that. Check it out, a fastball away. Nice easy swing. Watch him top down, and he hits that one like a bullet into right center. Justin Upton playing deep out there and able to get to it quickly.
There's the Godfather music. Hear that in the background?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it gives you the creeps, doesn't it?
Kind of makes me take a step back here in the booth.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Turn around, look and see who's behind you.
That's a pretty deep booth back here, and we're in front. I don't know if that's good or bad.
We've got security out there. We're okay.
The walk-up music for Cody Ransom here on Italian Heritage Day at Miller Park. Barai, the uniform name on the front of the Brewers' Italian green and red jerseys here this afternoon. Let's see if the Godfather Ransom can get the Brewers a second run. Cody struck out back in the 3rd inning. Got caught looking. Five strikeouts in the game so far for Comenter. And Cody Ransom yesterday. How about his 4 RBIs? Career high for him. Hit a home run against the team that cut him loose.
Yeah, 3-run jack. Part of that 6-run 4th inning from Milwaukee. Brewers had a triple, a home run, a single, and were just shy of double to hit for the inning cycle as a team. They didn't get it. That was a good inning for Milwaukee. A lot of it coming with 2 outs.
Ransom has had 2 4 RBI games, last night with the Brewers and then back in 2004 with San Francisco, but both of the opponents, ironically, Arizona. Takes it inside to even the count at 2-2. Ransom batting .174 as a Brewer, but displaying some power here this week. Homered in Wednesday's game at Cincinnati and then last night as well.
Hey, on Sunday, July 29th, the Brewers take on the Nationals. All fans in attendance will receive a Bob Uecker bobblehead, compliments of Time Warner Cable. For tickets, call 414-902-4000.
All kinds of fun bobbleheads on the list this year. Uke's on it.
Bob Uecker statue dedication later this summer.
Coming up later in August, I believe. Ransom lays off. Draws the count full, 3-2. Josh Colmenter, born in Homer, Michigan. Pretty good name city for a future Major League Baseball player. Wonder if he wanted to be a pitcher when he was a kid.
Right, Homer.
Here's the 3-2. Ransom just got a piece of it to stay alive.
That looked like it was ball 4, but Cody Ransom didn't hold up and fouled it off.
Three balls and 2 strikes, 1 down, runner in scoring position for Cody Ransom. Fly ball center field. Parra goes back. Weeks bluffs a move to third. He'll hold there with 2 down. This copyright telecast is presented by the authority of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club.
Meeting on the mound right here. I guess talking about whether to be aggressive with Maldonado at the plate. Got first base over with 2 outs, and Giovanni Gallardo on deck.
Maldonado has come up with some clutch hits, particularly clutch home runs in his short tenure so far with the Brewers. 5 home runs and 16 RBIs. Flew out to right field his first time up. Plate appearances at a minimum because hits are a minimum here so far in this game between these clubs. 5 total hits here in game 3. But the Brewers have the lead and could add to it right here with a 2-out hit. Inside to the Brewer catcher. Maldonado is 22nd start behind the plate for the Brewers. He's handled the staff very well. Pitcher's ERA with him behind the plate 3.43.
He's learning on the job. He's caught a lot of these guys in spring training. Caught Mike Fiers down in the minor leagues this year, so a little bit of a familiarity with Maldonado and his pitching staff because of spring training the last couple of years. I'm kind of surprised that Mike Fiers has been from Milwaukee in that rotation.
Boy, given the fact that he wasn't overly successful this season at AAA. The numbers on the major league level
incredible
are tremendous. There's Mike Fiers, had a career-high 10 strikeouts in last night's game, pitching 6 shutout innings, only allowing 2 hits. Labored early in the ball game. That's why he only made it through 6 innings, but boy, what a job he did to pick up another win for Milwaukee.
Hey, remember Marco Estrada, his last start against Cincinnati, it was a win. Struck out 12. So the bottom of the rotation's really done a nice job.
Couple that with the fact that Greinke and Gallardo among the leaders in the National League in strikeouts as well.
Actually, that was a loss. Estrada got a no decision. Cincinnati won that game, remember, on that Drew Stubbs 9th inning home run off of Axford. But Estrada was right. Punch out.
Well, Maldonado in another battle at the plate with Colementor. Ricky Weeks out at second base. He doubled with 1 out. There's 2 down now. Here's the 1-2. Just misses outside. 2-2.
I'm not sure where that missed, but maybe fooled Ed Hickox, the home plate umpire. Check it out. Big curveball. Hadn't thrown too many of them, and not sure where that missed. Maldonado not sure either.
Outside again, 3-2. Boy, Maldonado has put 2 terrific plate appearances together against Colementor so far in this game. Giovanni Gallardo, the Brewers starter, is on deck. Here's the 3-2. And again, Maldonado just gets a piece of this one.
Yeah, changeup, 81 miles an hour. He went back to back with the changeups. That's what makes him sneaky fast. That 80-mile-an-hour changeup, and then he'll come in with that 89, 90-mile-an-hour fastball and appears a lot quicker to you, especially in the shadow.
The pitcher's mound mostly covered in the same shadow that's covering home plate right now. Again, the 3-2. Maldonado fouls another one back.
Upset with himself. It was a fastball right down the middle, up in the zone. That's where he likes it. But again, the back-to-back changeups, and all of a sudden the fastball gets on you quickly. Another long at bat for Martin Maldonado.
With a 10th pitch coming up. And pitch number 75 on the day for Colementor, about to be delivered as well. Again, the 3-2. Popped him up. Will it stay in fair territory? And just into the Brewer dugout. Montero gave it a run, but ran out of room. So Maldonado lives for another pitch.
A lot of ballparks, that would be an out. Not a lot of foul territory here.
Six pitches so far here in the 5th inning for Colementor. What a battle between the Brewer catcher and the Diamondback starting pitcher. Fly ball, shallow right field. And he's going to get out of it as Upton makes the catch. Brewers make a threat, come up empty, but still have the lead.
Hey, bring your 4th of July picnic to the park. Miller Park, that is. Celebrate America with baseball and hot dogs as your Brewers take on the Miami Marlins at 3:10 p.m. Clemens hot dogs are $1 each. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com.
I know what Davey and I are going to be doing after the pregame. While you and BA are calling the game, we're going to be spending our dollar bills on hot dogs.
Sure you are. You're going to be borrowing $5. Nah, just kidding.
That's the new 6-pack. Just get a 6-pack of hot dogs on the 4th of July. Why not?
$5 bill you can eat to your heart's content.
I like it. We move to the top of the 6th inning now. Milwaukee ahead 1-0 over the Diamondbacks. And Stephen Drew, who has struck out twice, starts the inning against Giovanni Gallardo. That was a long 5th inning. A lot of pitches thrown by Colemencher against only 4 Brewer batters. Maldonado really battling at the plate.
Yeah. Well, both pitchers have been able to make their pitches when they've needed them.
Gallardo's pitch count at 82 right now. Only 50 for strikes. Fly ball Drew into left. Braun shades from the sun and makes the first out. Giovanni Gallardo, very strong day so far, and clinging to a 1-0 lead, has gotten the most of the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, 3 hits, 2 of them infield hits. The Diamondbacks are 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. 1 walk for Gallardo and 5 strikeouts. So he continues some very good pitching against the Diamondbacks in his career.
Has not registered a strikeout since the 3rd inning.
And make that 6 strikeouts. Me and math again.
6 Ks for Yo, and just the 3 singles given up and 1 walk in this game. Not a lot of opportunities for the Diamondbacks. In fact, on the grounder to Ransom, now 2 down. Just 2 Diamondbacks have reached second base. Whatever your favorite Wisconsin athlete's been up to on social media, Paul Imming's top 10 tweets are always good for a weekend laugh. Check him out, foxsportswisconsin.com. 2 down here in the 6th for Jason Kubel.
Now, you were asking me what I like to tweet out. What do you put on your Twitter account? What kind of thing? Well, congratulations, by the way. Your son hit his first home run yesterday.
Oh, yes, thank you. That was a,
that was a thrill. Did you tweet that?
Actually, I was tempted to do that, but to me, like you were saying earlier, I try to keep it more on the professional one.
Okay.
So
not a lot of personal stuff?
I sent about 1,500 texts, but I kept the tweets clear. Didn't want to brag.
I appreciate you sending that to me. Is that all right if I mention it on the air?
Yeah, you can do that.
Which one of your sons was it?
Jake.
Jake. Congratulations, Jake.
His first home run in Little League was a walk-off grand slam.
Wow.
We had a thrill at his baseball tournament yesterday. While you were working the big Fox National game, many of us had the day off, and it turned out to be a winner.
Perfect
so
day
it was
for
fun.
it.
Yeah. Thanks. It was a lot of fun.
Now, how many grand slams have you hit?
He's got me by 1 already.
That wasn't for me. Somebody in my ear asked me to tell you ask you that. Sorry.
I can't imagine who that would be. It was a lot of fun, and it was fun coming home last night and watching the Brewers in their big home run barrage against the Diamondbacks. But what a different story here in Game 3. Kubel draws the walk, just the second walk given up here by Giovanni Gallardo, but the second time that Kubel has reached base.
And we talk about momentum in baseball from day to day, and it only goes as far as the man on the mound, the pitcher, establishes momentum each and every day for his team. Mike Fiers established that last night for Milwaukee, and both of these guys today have done a nice job. So really no momentum on either side so far.
So it's Montero. First pitch ball from Gallardo is Kubel over at first. Swing and a miss. Most RBIs by catchers this season. Przinsky leading the pack at 45, but Montero just behind at 43. He's having himself a good season behind the plate for the Diamondbacks.
Hey, he's a good one. Everybody on that list. Good solid defensive catchers, and they contribute offensively.
Buster Posey, the National League starter behind the plate, as voted in, and you saw Molino. He was named by Tony La Russa. Two-one pitch misses down low. 3-1.
It looked like Gallardo wanted that last one. Looked like a pretty good pitch on the outside corner.
So after a 2-out walk by Kubel, it's now 3 balls and 1 strike. And Montero draws the walk. 2 consecutive walks given up by Gallardo with 2 down.
And not missing by much. Ed Hickok's not budging an inch on that outside corner. There it is. Can't get much closer than that. Back-to-back pitches. Rick Kranich just basically going out there telling Gallardo, don't worry about the last 2 calls. You just got to pitch your game. Not an easy out coming up.
Aaron Hill, as you take a look at Giovanni Gallardo's pitch count at 95 right now, but Aaron Hill, how about a number 6 hitter with a 301 average, 11 home runs and 38 RBIs, and swinging the ball so well as hit 2 cycles in less than 2 weeks. Friday here at Miller Park was his second one.
Yep, off of Randy Wolf, able to double in his first at bat. One hops over the wall and left. And then a base hit just out of the reach of Ricky Weeks. Hanging curveball from Wolfie for a home run. And then his last at bat, the toughest of all hits to get for the cycle, the triple to right center.
First pitch, a strike to Hill. Hill in this game with a base hit. 1 for 2. He's got a chance here to tie the game with the base hit. Big cut and a miss by Aaron Hill, and Giovanni Gallardo now ahead 2 strikes. Gallardo 6-0 lifetime against the Diamondbacks. His ERA just 1.21. And just misses outside.
And that's that strikeout curveball that we've been talking about all day. Has not made a mistake with that pitch yet tonight or this afternoon. And a good take by Aaron Hill.
The 1-2 fouled back. Gallardo also has a postseason win against the Diamondbacks. Won game 1 here at Miller Park in the NLDS last year. Started twice against the Diamondbacks in the postseason. A 1-0 record and a 1.29 ERA. Here's the 1-2. One hopper to Weeks. And they'll take care of Hill. And Gallardo survives 2 walks after 2 down. Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by the new Miller Lite Punch Top can. It's Miller time.
Well, Josh Comenter coming out for his 6th inning of work. Good job so far by the Diamondbacks right-hander. They were just $13. Fair Friday packets include 1 ticket to Friday Brewers games and admission to the 2012 Wisconsin State Fair presented by U.S. Cellular. Visit brewers.com/State Fair.
So it's pitcher versus pitcher to start the bottom half of the 6th inning. Yovani Gallardo batting at .094 in the season. He has 3 hits and a couple of RBIs. He's hit the ball hard at times, and I think if he sees a good one here in the leadoff role, go to hack him. There's a strike. Gallardo, of course, with 9 career home runs, most by a Brewer pitcher at the plate. Hit 4 back in the 2010 season. High fly ball, foul territory. Overbay just in front of the Brewer dugout for the first out. Comenter out on the hill for the Diamondbacks, nearly matching Yo pitch for pitch.
Yeah, hasn't had a strikeout since the end of the 4th inning. A leadoff Aoki double, a wild pitch and a ground ball by Nigel Morgan, the only scoring on the board in the ball game so far today. 2 hits, both doubles.
So 5 strikeouts in the game for Comenter, and the 2 hits that Rock mentioned, yet he trails on the scoreboard. You should take a look at his line. He has not walked a Brewer batter yet. Aoki spins around for strike 1. Now he's thinking bunt. Lays back to even the count. Look at all the things Aoki can do from you in that leadoff role.
He handles the bat very well, not afraid to drag bunt, push bunt. Makes decent contact, and boy, has he been swinging the bat. Ron Renicky very happy with him as his leadoff hitter.
Extended his hitting streak to 8 games with that double. And this bunt is foul, so that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
As long as you have 1 foot in that batter's box and it hits you, you're all right. Both feet out of the box and it hits you, you're out. Or if you step on home plate as you bunt the baseball. Can't do that either.
2-2 to second. Tough play, and Aoki beat it out. Hill had trouble getting that ball out of his glove, and it allowed Aoki to reach. So he's at first with 1 down. Very close play over at first base.
Yeah, any type of a bobble, or you take your time just a little bit with Aoki getting down the line, and you're not going to get him. Very close at first base. Bang, bang. Could have gone either way. Tough to complain either way on that call.
Look at the hustle by Aoki with that ankle protector dangling as he crosses first base. Aoki with 10 stolen bases. He's only been caught 3 times. Of course, 4 of those came in 1 game against the White Sox last weekend. That tied a franchise record. So another threat he provides once he's on base.
Yeah, this would be a good opportunity to steal, although Montero throws it pretty well behind home plate.
Nigel Morgan down, 2 strikes. Morgan 0 for 2.
And Montero thrown at a 43% clip. That's outstanding.
First in the league. Morgan steps out. Brewers trying to add to their 1-0 advantage right now. Ryan Braun waits on deck. Be good to get the Brewer All-Star slugger a chance in this inning with a runner on. Morgan loops one into right, and it's going to be caught out there by Hill. Ball just hung up a little too long, and Hill was able to make the catch. So 2 down, but Braun will get a chance. Ryan Braun, if you go back to his All-Star resume, pre-All-Star break, numbers from last season and also this season and how they compare. A little lower average this time around, but a lot more power as far as the home runs go.
Well, there's still a week left of games for Ryan Braun to catch up in the RBI department and runs scored. But the power is certainly much better this year than it was a year ago. Still a week before the All-Star game.
Ron Renicky was talking before the game about Ryan Braun and the different types of pressures you can feel as a baseball player. He said, you know, if you're an average baseball player playing the game, you don't nearly feel the pressures of the great ones. And of course, Ryan Braun falls in that great list to go out there and play 150, 155 games a year at every time you're out there to live up to the expectations that fans have, the team has, but more importantly, what you put on yourself.
Right, and you know, nobody's going to put more pressure on Ryan than he puts on himself, and he's able to control it pretty well. The ability to be in the pressure situations and be able to slow everything down, that's what the great ones are able to do. For the average guy, everything speeds up and they rush to everything, but you know, Ryan Braun, the great ones in the game, Robin Yount, were able to take a step back, slow everything down, and that's why they've been successful.
A strike low on the outside that hits. 2 balls and a strike now to Ryan Braun.
That's a good pitch. They're not going to do much with that.
Ioki over at first, 2 down here in the Brewer half of the 6th. Long pops it up right side. Overbay is out of room.
Overbay very familiar with the surroundings here at Miller Park. He knows how to play that railing over there. Went over there and said hello to Woody, our first base cameraman. They know each other pretty well.
Overbay was a favorite here when he was with the Brewers. Of course, there's Woody.
He's a favorite here too.
He's a favorite here too. There's the shot from Woody's camera over on that Brewer dugout, the outside portion of that dugout. Lyle Overbay back in the 2004 season with the Brewers set a single season Brewer record with 53 doubles. He was the doubles machine man. Braun right back at the pitcher, and the final out here in the 6th. Still 1-0 Milwaukee. Summary out on the hill. Josh Colmenter has limited Milwaukee batters. Just 3 hits and a run so far. Giovanni Gallardo mowing down the Diamondbacks. He has tossed a shutout through 6 innings so far in this game and got just enough help on an infield RBI. An infield out. Scores Aoki by Morgan. And that's the game's only run right now. That happened for the Brewers back in the 4th inning. And so now we are through 6, moved to the top of the 7th, and Gallardo back out on the hill. His pitch count at an even 100 right now to start the inning. Got himself into just a little bit of trouble back in the 6th. After 2 were down, walked 2 consecutive batters before recording the final out. Not allow the Diamondbacks much of a threat to score so far. Faces Lyle Overbay to lead things off. High fly ball, shallow left field. Braun coming in, and there's 1 down.
And that's what both of these pitchers have been able to do. They're able to sneak the fastball by these hitters because they're able to throw their off-speed pitches for strikes. And neither team has been able to get too many good swings.
Each team with only 3 hits so far against starting pitching. Here's Parra with 1 down. He had a base hit back in the 5th. So he has 1 of the 3 hits against Gallardo. Little tapper, Corey Hart, and Giovanni Gallardo covers nicely over at first base. Well, do you want to learn about the basics? Stay tuned to the Brewers Live postgame as we break down the techniques and strategies of the game in today's postgame instructional. Rock and Davey on board today, and it's Sunday. You'll be in the outfield.
Yeah, we've got the kids running the bases after the ball game, and Davey and I are going to be talking about the third base coach giving signs to the base runners and the hitter at home plate. Something different.
I like that. A lot goes into that. There's strategy. You've got to follow the game in certain situations pretty closely.
Right. You want to make sure that the signs are complicated enough so the other team doesn't pick them up, but not complicated enough so your own team doesn't get them.
That would be bad.
There's a fine line between the 2 of those.
And once in a while you see that going on. That's called miscommunication,
yeah,
right?
Missing a sign. Yeah.
Here's Chris Young to pinch hit for the pitcher Josh Colmenter. So his day is done. 6 strong innings, just 3 hits allowed and 1 run given up. No walks and 5 strikeouts for Colmenter.
And another good outing for Colmenter against Milwaukee.
So that'll get the bullpen going for the Diamondbacks. Shaw starting to warm up. Young, the pinch hitter. A 3-0 count from Gallardo. There's strike 1. Neither of the starting pitchers today, Colmenter or Gallardo, has lost against the opposing team. The Brewers are Diamondbacks here today. There's strike 2. Young was on his way to first.
Yeah, good slider from Gallardo on 3-1 pitch. That took a 3-0 fastball, then a slider right on the corner. What's Yo going to give him here?
And there's ball 4.
Yeah, Chris Young looked very content with drawing a walk in that at bat. Did he even swing once? And that was pretty close. 3-2. Just a little bit high. Gladly will take his walk.
4 walks in the game distributed by Giovanni Gallardo. And ironically, all 4 with 2 outs.
Chris Young does have some pretty good speed. He used to be a base stealer, but again, he's been on the DL this year. Shoulder issue, and not sure how much that's going to slow him down.
Well, 2 stolen bases so far on the season. But as you mentioned, a threat.
2 for 2 this year. The Diamondbacks have 47 stolen bases, but they've been caught 29 times. That's worst percentage of stolen bases in all the National League.
Now Veras up in the Brewers bullpen. Bloomquist hits it hard to Weeks, has to recover, and he throws it away. That's going to allow Upton to get to third, and Bloomquist will stay at first.
Boy, can't make those mistakes in a close game. Boy, Gallardo doing a nice job getting the ground ball. 1 hopper to Weeks. Couldn't keep it in the glove, and then he threw it away. Didn't have a grip on it. Boy, a big mistake by Ricky Weeks. Check this out. Didn't have the handle on it, and Maldonado had to grab it back behind the plate. Boy.
Well, now Rick Kranitz out to talk with Gallardo. Again, all this happening with 2 down. He retired Overbay and Parra pretty quickly here to start the 7th inning, and then a 2-out walk drawn by the pinch hitter Young. And now
that'll be 2 errors on Ricky Weeks. The first error allowing Bloomquist to reach, and then the other error, Chris Young to third base.
Boy, you get late in a game and a tight game like this, and you start mentioning walks and errors all happening within moments of each other, and now you got to make a big pitch here to get this final out. And after the meeting, that Brewer infield's going to have to regroup here. It's only a 1-0 lead for Milwaukee. Young over at third, Bloomquist at first, and now Stephen Drew, who's had a very, very quiet bat here in limited action in the 2012 season. Don't want to let him get going right here. There's first pitch, a strike from Giovanni Gallardo. His pitch count right now at 113.
This will be his last hitter, I would imagine. Veras is up. He's ready in the bullpen.
Of course, the Brewer bullpen has had its struggles so far on the season. This is why you're seeing Giovanni Gallardo stay out. He started the 7th with his pitch count at 100. Trying to keep that solid arm going against this Diamondback offense. Two and one now to Drew. This is the most pitches Gallardo has thrown in a game this season. Now at 115. Two balls and a strike to Drew. And now 3-1.
And a little bit of fatigue setting in by Gallardo.
Ron Renicky and Rick Kranitz. Hoping Gallardo can come up with a big pitch right here. And he misses. The bases are loaded here in the 7th inning.
Well, let's see if Ron Renicky allows Yo to get out of his own mess here. You got Veras in the bullpen. He is susceptible to the base on balls. And it looks like Renicky's going to go get him.
Well, it's a tough call here, but Pitch count at 117 for Gallardo. May have run out of gas here in the 7th inning. The bases are loaded up, and the Diamondbacks have not recorded a hit to do it. 2 walks and 2 errors. And Gallardo is done. Veras is set to come in. With 2 out and the bases loaded, and threw a lot of pitches down the stretch here into the 7th inning. Giovanni Gallardo's line 6 2/3, just 3 hits, but 5 walks allowed.
Yeah, 4 of those coming in the last 2 innings, and Giovanni had 6 strikeouts, all coming in the first 3 innings. He had 2 in each of the first 3 innings. A little bit of fatigue setting in the 7th inning, and was not helped by a double error at second base with 2 outs.
So now Jose Veras will make his 36th appearance for Milwaukee, and they're going to need a big out here in a hurry from Veras in a 1-0 game with the Brewers out in front here in the 7th inning. Bases loaded.
And he has been throwing the baseball pretty well. His last 16 appearances, he's only allowed 1 earned run, and he's only allowed 3 of 12 inherited base runners to score this year.
He's got 3 on base right now, so he's going to have to dig deep against Justin Upton, who is 0 for 3 in this game. Here's Veras' first pitch, and it falls in for a strike. Brewers trying to take this weekend series from the Diamondbacks, locked up at a game apiece. So far, game 3 very different offensively from the first 2 games. Outside 1-1.
Yeah, Veras loves the curveball, and when he's able to throw it for strikes, he's very effective, which he's been able to do lately. He's also got that mid-90s fastball, to back that pitch up.
Veras delivers the 1-1. Way outside, 2-1. No place to put Upton. Two and 2 now to Justin Upton.
And fastball up in the zone at 94 miles an hour. Upton tried to hold up, couldn't do it.
So the fastball or the curve here on 2-2. Big pitch from Barris. Upton stays alive.
Another good curve ball off the plate. This time Upton feeling as though he's got to protect and able to get a piece of it.
Crowd coming alive, many on their feet. They know the situation here. 1-0, Milwaukee out in front. Bases loaded for the Diamondbacks. 2 down here in the 7th inning. Barris in relief of Giovanni Gallardo. Swing and a miss, and Barris does it. Strikes out Upton with the bases loaded, and Milwaukee's lead of 1 run is protected. Our Sunday tradition. Rob Edwards.
Brewers and all of Major League Baseball as we honor our great nation with God Bless America, led by Martina McBride.
Jose Barris as we go pitch by pitch as to how Barris got Upton. 3 curveballs in a row. It got to a 2-1 count. Then Barris throws a fastball by him. You see it trying to check a swing, couldn't do it. Then a curveball off the plate. Everything away, and then he just blows a 3-2 pitch right by him. Actually a 2-2 pitch. And Justin Upton leaves the bases loaded. Now Barris has stranded the He's only allowed 3 inherited base runners out of 15. That's pretty good.
And that's a big time Pizza Hut delivery of the game by Veras. Now Brian Shaw enters to start the 7th inning for the Arizona Diamondbacks, making his 36th appearance. He's in relief of Josh Colmenter.
Yeah, Shaw pitched in last night's ball game. Gave up a couple of hits. This has been a pretty good bullpen for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
We'll see if it's a difference maker, seeing the bullpen now for the Brewers and Aramis Ramirez, who leads off the bottom of the 7th for Milwaukee. They didn't have a whole lot of success, although they do have the lead right now against the starter Josh Colmenter. 2-0 now to Ramirez. 0 for 2 here this afternoon so far. Struck out back in the 4th inning. Ramirez with a quiet homestand so far, just 1 for 10. What a job he has done, though, over the last 32 games, as he was able to raise his batting average from all the way down from 218 to 262 entering today's game. And right up the middle, a base hit right on cue, and a leadoff runner for Milwaukee here in the 7th inning.
Well, maybe a different look for this Brewers offense is going to be just a trick to give the pitching staff a little breathing room here tonight. Ramirez getting a fastball, looked like a cutter out over the plate, and banged it right back through the middle. Leadoff base runner from Milwaukee. First time they've done that since the 4th inning.
Here's Corey Hart. He's also hitless so far in this game. Really helped out that offensive attack in the win in last night's ball game with the triple and single. You like to think when you see Corey Hart swinging like he did last night that it's going to continue. He's very streaky, as we all know. Hits it hard to right field. Upton going back on the warning track. Makes the catch. Ramirez bluffs a tag move to second base. So a long out for Corey Hart, the first here in the 7th inning.
And when he's going well, that's what he does. He'll take that ball to the opposite field. He always hits them high most of the time for his home runs. Just missed that one.
Wendy's at the plate for Ricky Weeks. Double back in the 5th inning. And the Brewers, on the other half of Ricky Weeks' game, were able to escape the double error in the top half of the 7th inning. No damage, thanks to Veras helping out Giovanni Gallardo in relief. First pitch to Weeks misses, ball 1. Ramirez over at first for the Brewers. There's a strike into Weeks.
Ricky Weeks trying to find something he likes. There's a cutter that just caught the outside corner.
Weeks high fly ball center field. Parra going back, looking right up into that sun for the second out. So after the leadoff single by Ramirez, the Brewers unable to advance him into scoring position. And here's the walk-up music. The Godfather. Here on Italian Heritage Day at Miller Park. You just can't help but chuckle because you think of so many different lines and episode portions of that series of movies.
Michael Corleone.
Well, Let's see what Cody Ransom can do. How about a gapper or something down the line to give Ramirez a chance to score? Ramirez running a little bit better each day. Had that quad issue. One and one now to the Brewers shortstop. Ransom also 0 for 2 today. It's strange to look up on the board and see 2 errors on the line score for the Brewers. One of the better defensive teams in the National League.
Yeah, both of these teams in top 5 in defense. Diamondbacks #1 in the league. Brewers actually 5th.
Here's the 1-2. Way outside, 2-2. Ransom let go by the Diamondbacks and was claimed off waivers by the Brewers back up May 23rd. He had pretty good numbers from the plate when he was a Diamondback. 269, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs. Missing down low, 3-2.
That's been all cutters pretty much for Ryan Shaw. Let's see if he does the same thing, trying to cut that fastball away from the right-handed hitters. See if he makes a mistake or if Ransom would stay on one and drive it into the gap in right center.
And he walks, so 2 aboard with 2 down here in the 7th inning. And now the catcher, Martin Maldonado.
Yeah, it was a cut fastball on a 3-2 pitch. Just missing the edge.
Montero out to talk to his relief pitcher Shaw. That's the first walk the Brewers have drawn off Arizona pitching in this game. It's right about this time in tight games when Maldonado comes up and a chance to plate some runs, he's able to come through. 0 for 2 so far today. Brewers could use some breathing room here, and they're threatening with 2 down here in the 7th. Shaw having a tough time finding that strike zone.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around too much with the inner half of the plate. Everything's away. Every pitch to Cody Ransom was away. And the first pitch to Maldonado, trying to catch him on the outside corner.
Maldonado fouls it back to even the count.
Those are the ones you have to take advantage of. He missed with it right down the middle. Montero was setting up on the outside corner, and he left it middle in. Check out, watch where Montero's set up, outer half, and watch where it ends up. Those are the ones you have to hit.
Here's the 1-1. Maldonado right to first, overbang. Takes that sharp grounder for the final out. It's still 1-0 Milwaukee through 7.
Marlins. Coverage begins at 6:30. It will be a hot, humid day for some baseball with a spotty thunderstorm in the area, so keep those umbrellas handy just in case, but it will stay warm. First pitch temperature, 84 degrees.
All right, summer continues. We like that. And 4th of July holiday week kicks off tomorrow night, 6:30 here on Fox Sports Wisconsin as our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Marlins coming in for a 4-game series. And if you're have a ticket or watching this week, pay attention to the start times. Tomorrow night, the only night game of that 4-game series in the final 4 games of this homestand.
Yeah, the Marlins beat the Phillies today. The Phillies continue to descend into the East. I thought Philadelphia would be 10 games out before the All-Star break. They've lost 5 in a row.
Hard to believe. Here's Francisco Rodriguez now to start the 8th inning, making his 38th appearance for the Brewers and trying to protect a 1-0 lead for Giovanni Gallardo, who's in line for a victory today.
Yeah, he gave up a run in his last time out against the Cincinnati Reds on Wednesday, but before that had not allowed a run in his previous 6 appearances. No margin for error here today.
And Jason Kubel, who's had some success reaching base, takes that first pitch and out of Miller Park for a home run. Wow, just that fast. We are tied. Kubel's 12th home run of the season, and he wastes no time against Francisco Rodriguez, and there goes the Brewer lead. It was that fragile.
And he's got big time opposite field power, fastball in the outer half of the plate, and he drives it out of here over the bullpen for the Brewers.
Well, the Brewer faithful a bit stunned here at Miller Park. They've seen a pitching gem between the 2 starters today, although a 1-0 game, lead never safe, and Francisco Rodriguez can't hold it here in the 8th inning. So we're back to even late in the ball game. The catcher Montero steps in after the home run by Kubel. Montero walked back in the 6th inning. One of 5 walks distributed by Giovanni Gallardo, but did not give up a run. So a no decision in line for Gallardo. 6 2/3 inning and no runs, just 3 hits, 6 strikeouts. Ball and 2 strikes. And he fouls it back. It's been a tough road for this Brewer bullpen, and it continues here this afternoon as Rodriguez gives up a leadoff home run here in the 8th inning. That allows the Diamondbacks to come and tie it at 1-1.
Man, what a difference a year makes. You know, last year you get a lead in the 8th inning and it's pretty much Katie bar the door. No chance you're coming back, but that hadn't been the case this year. It's awfully difficult for Rodriguez and Axford to be able to do what they did last year in the second half.
And you can't help but go back and really, Rock, you've been around this game more than half your life, how special those types of seasons are. Yeah. And you can't automatically pencil in a repeat performance.
You mean 49 consecutive saves, and to be able to do what those 2 guys did last year, that's unheard of. You're right. I mean, Doug Melvin will be the first to tell you that your relievers and bullpen work is a tough thing to figure out on a consistent basis. Not many can do it year after year after year.
And now a walk after the home run, so runner at first, still nobody out here in the 8th inning. Montero at first, and now Aaron Hill.
I doubt he's going to be bunting. He's one of their best run producers. But we'll see. All quiet down in that Brewers bullpen.
We've talked about Aaron Hill collecting his second cycle of the season on Friday night here at Miller Park. He also collected his career hit number 1,000 against Randy Wolf. His last 22 games coming into this contest batting at a .402 clip. Now how about the extra base hits? 9 doubles, 3 triples, 6 home runs. He's been a tough out.
Man, that's why he's not bunting. He's almost like a cleanup hitter in the number 6 spot.
Rodriguez sets. And the 1-1 to Aaron Hill. This is down low, 2-1.
It's been a tight zone, for both sides, and Maldonado tried to pick that one up a little bit, didn't get the call.
The Brewers have been involved in a lot of close games. In fact, just spanning back to last weekend against the White Sox. Remember, 2 games were 1-0 finals on Friday and Sunday. Hill chops one foul. And this game entering the 8th was 1-0, and now we're tied at 1-1. Brewers 10 runs that they scored last night in their victory, just their second win when scoring 10 runs or more this season.
That gives you an idea how good the Brewers pitching has been the last couple of days. This offense for the Diamondbacks has been on a roll. It's hard to keep him down, for too long.
Here's the 2-2. And did Hill check his swing? He did. He held. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Aaron Hill.
Now, not much speed over there at first base. Let's see if Kirk Gibson is aggressive and sends Montero, the catcher, on the 3-2 pitch. Hill does a pretty good job of making contact. We'll see.
Here's Rodriguez in the 3-2. Hill fouls another one straight back. After today's game, the Diamondbacks conclude their road trip and head back home to face the Padres and Dodgers before the All-Star break. This series tied 1-1. The score and the series. Ransom, nice play. Weeks the turn. Got him!
Beauty.
What a double play started by Cody Ransom.
A nice turn over there by Ricky Weeks. I mean, the toughest part of that play was Ransom's throw to second. It was a nice backhand pickup. Watch how quickly he's able to get that ball in his bare hand and get an off-balance throw right on the money to Ricky Weeks. If that throw is off a little bit or that timing's messed up, there's no way they're going to be able to turn 2. That's a terrific play by Cody Ransom.
Our Marshfield Clinic shining moment. And the first double play of the game couldn't come at a better time for Milwaukee. Lyle Overbay now steps in. So after giving up the game-tying home run to lead off the inning and then a walk, a 6-4-3 double play clears the bases. Now 2 down. Off speed from Rodriguez. 0-2 now to Overbay. .325 on the season for Lyle Overbay. And called upon, this guy has come through for the Diamondbacks. Here's the 0-2. Broken bat, slow roller. Ransom's got to hurry. Makes the play for the final out. So Ransom doing the job at shortstop to help Francisco Rodriguez, but not before Jason Kubel ties the game on the first pitch of the inning.
We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Davey Nelson, Telly Hughes rejoining you as we get you set for Brewers Live postgame following today's game. And Davey, coming into this game, these two teams combined for 24 runs on 40 hits, and today only 2 runs and 8 hits between the two.
Well, it's been a slugfest, but today good pitching stops good hitting.
Well, that's always the case, and make sure you join us after the game. We'll have our on-field instructional. Today we're talking signs, third base coaches giving signs, and we'll have much more inside that Brewers clubhouse. Craig?
All right, sounds great, guys. Looking forward to it after the game, and the Brewers trying to get you a victory to talk about. It's 1-1 here. And George Kataris pinch hitting in the pitcher spot to lead off the frame. And David Hernandez out on the hill onto the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. Kataris quickly down 2 strikes. Done a nice job pinch hitting this year. 6 for 16, including a home run, and has driven in 5. But this time Kataris strikes out on 3 pitches. So 1 down here in this 8th inning for Milwaukee. And the top of the order, and Aoki.
Yeah, another hard thrower coming out of that Diamondbacks bullpen. 36th appearance. He's only allowed to 2 home runs. Check it out. 50 punch outs in 33 innings. Make that 51. With that last strikeout. Good arms up and down this bullpen for Arizona.
He's pitched pretty well on the road. He's held opponents scoreless in 10 of his last 12 appearances away from Arizona. Aoki scored the Brewers' only run of this game. That was back in the 4th inning when he doubled, and Niger Morgan brought him home on an infield out. So he has 2 hits in this game. And he lays off, but it's cold. Strike 2. So 1-2 now to the Brewers leadoff hitter.
Yep, right at the bottom of the strike zone, and Aoki not going to be able to do much with that pitch anyway.
And Aoki strikes out. So Hernandez has come in and struck out the first 2 Brewers.
52 strikeouts in 33 2/3. That's not too shabby. Looked like that had some late tail on it as it got to home plate.
Here's Nyjer Morgan. Officially 0 for 3 with the Brewers' only RBI of the game. Of course, Nyjer with that big RBI in Game 5 of the Division Series win here at Miller Park. Last fall in the playoffs. Thought about bunting, and it's 3-0. Use a base runner for Ryan Braun, who waits on deck. Named to his 5th consecutive All-Star team earlier today. And Morgan draws the walk on 4 pitches.
Yeah, how important is that, right?
Well, Ryan Braun has been an All-Star and an MVP because he has a flair for the dramatics. And this could be one of those situations right here. 1-1 game in the 8th. 2 down. He's got a runner on. Hit 2 home runs in last night's Brewer victory.
He got good speed at first base. Diamondbacks outfield extremely deep. They're giving Ryan a lot of room in that left field line.
You see that defense set up for Ryan Braun. They're playing deep in the hole at short and second, and that third base line heavily guarded there by Bloomquist.
Back-to-back breaking pitches from Hernandez. This one catching the inside corner. It's not where they wanted it, but caught the edge.
Two and one now to the Brewer slugger. Ryan Braun voted in by his peers to the All-Star game as a reserve. High fly ball, and this one should sail into the seats. He may have a chance to start the All-Star game again if Matt Kemp is for sure not going to be in there, and we certainly don't expect him at this point on the disabled list right now. We're on fourth in the voting among fans. Nyjer Morgan over at first, drawing some attention from Hernandez. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 down. Morgan was on the move, and Braun fouls it back.
They had something behind that fastball at 97 that time. So Hernandez reaching back a little extra for Ryan with 2 strikes. Here it is, hit it right down the middle.
This is only the second time that Braun has faced Hernandez. Montero sets the sign. And now Montero will pay a visit to his pitcher.
Now they started Ryan out with a couple of breaking pitches. And since that time, it's been all fastballs. Montero and Hernandez have a difference of opinion as to how to attack him here on this 2-2 pitch.
What a battle here today between these two teams for the series win. Here's the 2-2. Morgan on the move. Braun, high fly ball into the outfield. Shallow right field. Is it going to fall? It does not. Upton makes a last-second diving catch for the final out of the inning. Some confusion out there with that Diamondback defense. Here's one more look. They've saved a run. Another low-scoring, tight ball game here at Miller Park. Nori Aoki and the Brewers tied with the Diamondbacks 1-1. Each team with 4 hits in this game. The Brewers 2 errors all came on 1 play by Ricky Weeks, but it did not affect the scoring in this game. So now John Axford comes in a tie ball game here in the top of the 9th inning for appearance number 32 this season.
Yep, 13 out of 17 in saves, a 1-5 record. He took one of those losses on Tuesday at Cincinnati.
And he will face Parra to lead off the 9th inning for the Diamondbacks. Giovanni Gallardo pitched very well today, 6 2/3 innings. No runs, gave up just 3 hits. He did walk 5 and struck out 6. But none of those walks came back to hurt Gallardo. It was a leadoff home run in the 8th inning by Jason Kubel off Francisco Rodriguez. that allowed the Diamondbacks to get their only score so far here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's not often that you walk 6 batters in a game and none of them score. And that's what's happened here today.
Good fastball by Axford. 1-2 now to Parra. Parra 1 for 3, had a hit back in the 5th. And he strikes him out. So there's the first out here in the 9th inning. John Axford strikes out Parra.
Always a good sign when Axford's able to keep that fastball down in the zone. That last one at 97 miles an hour.
Take you back to Friday night. Paul Goldschmidt. He was in line for a possible cycle as well. Had a home run in this game, and here's a look as he is set to come in and pitch in for the pitcher spot here in the 9th inning.
Goldschmidt a triple away from the cycle, but his last at bat in the 9th, he doubled down the line and left.
He had a couple of opportunities as well in that game to pick up that cycle, as the Diamondbacks scored 9 runs against Brewer pitching. Goldschmidt at .293 on the season. He did have 4 hits on Friday, and that was a career high for him. Big swing and a miss by Goldschmidt. Now 1-2. Goldschmidt strikes out. A couple of strikeouts to open up the inning now for Axford. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming texts the broadcast. Maria from East Troy wants to know, are the jerseys available that the Brewers are wearing today for fans to purchase? Of course, honoring Italian heritage. Barai is the Italian pronunciation of Brewers.
And the answer to that is yes, and I believe that they are being sold at the team store by Majestic here at the ballpark. Just to make sure, maybe go to Brewers.com to check it out. But yes, they are for sale. I wouldn't wait too long. I would imagine that they'd be very popular.
A limited number probably available. There's Willie Bloomquist. Both teams wearing jerseys today with the Italian colors. Just a slight adjustment for the Diamondbacks, who really just added green to their jerseys.
And they also have some T-shirts that look very similar to the jerseys at the team store here at the ballpark.
Of course, you have a Festa Italiana coming up as well later in August 4th through the 6th, their 35th anniversary over at Summerfest grounds. Bloomquist reached on that double error on Ricky Weeks back in the 7th inning, and this time a clean single to right. So a 2-out base runner for the Diamondbacks here in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, tough guy to hold down all day. That's his first base hit. Bloomquist with decent speed. See if the Diamondbacks get aggressive and try and steal a base. Goes right with it, finds the hole between first and second, and a 2-out single.
Here's Stephen Drew. He reached base for the first time in this game, his last plate appearance in the 7th inning when he drew a walk. Officially 0 for 3. Axford misses again. 2-0 now to Drew. As Rock mentioned earlier in the game, he's battling back from that season-ending right ankle injury last year. Didn't have a lot of production offensively and is having a tough start getting his back going here since he's come back from the disabled list.
Going to take a while. It does for most guys. That's the amazing thing about what Buster Posey's been able to do this year. He missed about 4 or 5 months and really didn't seem like he's really missed a beat. Buster Posey, not offensively.
Back at the All-Star game today as well, voted in. Runner on the move. Here's the throw from Maldonado. It's in time. Martin Maldonado comes down Willie Bloomquist to end the 9th inning. And the Brewers have a chance to win it thanks to their catcher's gun behind the plate. We're tied at 1. Wow. For Milwaukee, the errors, the walks in this game have not really hurt either club at this point, and it was good starting pitching in this game as well between the Diamondbacks. Giovanni Gallardo was in line to potentially win, but that won't happen. He'll get the no decision in this one, and the Brewers have a chance to win it right here.
Yeah, who would have thought, right? I mean, after 2 slugfests, one on Friday and one on yesterday, where the Brewers were able to pick up a win. You get a 1-1 game here in the 9th inning. Looks like somebody's going to win in their last at bat. So a lot of excitement here at Miller Park. By the way, you look real good in that lime green.
And you look good in your lime
golf
green.
shirt. Does it flatter me?
Oh, absolutely. Looks real good in person, too.
I know mine looks real good with all the mustard I have on it.
What mustard? It blends right in. Patrick Corbin now comes in out of the bullpen to work the 9th inning for the Diamondbacks, and he'll face Aramis Ramirez to lead things off. So some power coming up for Milwaukee.
He's given up 3 home runs in 30 and a third innings of work. He has walked 9 batters. One of 3 left-handers down in that Diamondbacks bullpen. This is the 3rd reliever used by Kirk Gibson.
So Ramirez, who had a base hit his last time up in the 7th, 1 for 3 in this game. I mentioned he's had a relatively quiet homestand here. How about one big swing of the bat and get this thing over with? First pitch misses outside, ball 1. 9 home runs and 45 RBIs for Ramirez.
Now you figure Ramirez is going to get a pretty good pitch to hit, a 2-0 count. And you know he's going to air this place out if he likes it.
3-0. There's a strike from Corbin. Started the season at AAA. And misses badly, ball 4. So a leadoff runner for Milwaukee. Ramirez to first. And we'll see if potentially a pinch runner here or not.
Man, got to believe it's going to be Carlos Gomez, and here he is. The advantage of having that kind of speed on the bench. Well, you know Gomez is going to try and steal a base. We've already talked about how good Montero has been throwing out base runners. The best in the National League at 43%.
Let's check in with Drew Olson.
Hey guys, you check out the footwear on Carlos Gomez. He's got the red laces and the red swoosh stripes. He can thank Jason Schager for that. The Brewers clubhouse attendant spent part of this morning coloring those in.
Just for today.
Just for today. Got to make a fashion statement.
That's right. You got to look good. You can't have anything that doesn't match on out there.
He's wearing the green and the red colors of Italy in their Barai jerseys here. And Gomez immediately draws a throw. 8 stolen bases for Gomez on the season. He's been caught 3 times. Spent some time on the disabled list with a hamstring injury and was slow out of the gates when he was reactivated. But now if he's not 100%, he's pretty doggone close.
Yeah, he's ready. He's been running. Just a matter of if he's going to be able to read the move over there from Corbin. Looks like he's got a decent move.
Gomez distracting.
Now this is what Gomez can do for you. If you're Corey Hart, this is what you love. Corbin spent a lot of time worrying about Gomez, and he might make a mistake to Corey.
Corey Hart 0 for 3 in this game. And again Gomez draws a throw. Corbin, the left-handed pitcher, has a good look at Gomez over at first. And he misses outside on his first pitch to Corey Hart.
And Montero's going to, perhaps give a little chat to Corbin, thinking, don't worry so much about that man at first base, especially after you've walked the only batter you face. The guy at the plate's going to hurt you a lot more than the guy at first.
Misses inside, 2-0.
A lot of times when you try and quicken up your delivery to hold a runner close, your mechanics are a little bit off and you have a tough time throwing strikes. And when you do, maybe get too much of the plate.
Big swing and a miss by Corey Hart on a 2-0 pitch.
Down in the zone, it would have been 3-0.
And again, Gomez draws a throw. Corbin recalled for the second time this season from AAA just on Wednesday. No Brewers have faced him on the major league level. And again a throw over.
Gomez has been able to read that move pretty well. It's not that good a move, but he's been able to keep Gomez occupied at first.
And one more. Well, the fans get antsy now, don't they?
Now, this is something that Kirk Gibson has really stressed with his pitching staff. Holding runners close, giving catchers an opportunity to throw a guy out, and it's worked so far. The Diamondbacks have controlled the running game pretty well this year.
Now the pitch to Harkness is inside, 3-1. Ramirez drew the walk to lead off the ninth. Gomez now the pinch runner, and 3-1 to Corey Hart. Corey waves at strike two.
Corey pulling off a pitch on the outer half of the plate. Another pitch out of the strike zone. So Corbin hasn't thrown Corey Hart a strike yet.
And again a throw over to Gomez.
Well, you know he's going to be running here on 3-2. It's just a matter of whether Corey Hart's going to get a good pitch to hit.
Montero checks that dugout, sets the sign for Corbin. Hart, center field. And the catch made there by Parra, so Gomez returns to first. That's the first out here in the ninth inning.
Well, Gomez wasn't running on the pitch either. Interesting.
Ricky Weeks now with one down. See what the Brewers can do to get Gomez into scoring position. Again, Gomez with 8 stolen bases on the season. A little cat and mouse game going on there. Gomez reluctant to go all the way back to first if Corbin's not going to throw.
Well, he's been able to keep Gomez honest. He really has. I mean, fans don't like it, but that's what he's supposed to do.
Now he goes, and the throw is into center field. Gomez will go to third base. Here's the throw, and he's in there. The ball gets by and goes into the stands, and Gomez is going to score, and the Brewers win it. What a play! What a finish! Milwaukee will take it 2-1 and win the series.
How about that? A walk, a stolen base, an E2 and an E8 to win the game. How about Carlos Gomez? Wow. You don't see that every day.
He was a distraction as soon as he came out as a pinch runner. And here's a look at that final play.
Well, Gomez able to get to third base on the throwing error by the catcher. The ball hits Gomez. and into the seats, and the Brewers get a walk-off. I don't know what you call that. A walk-off what? Error?
Walk-off error. It's got to be.
It's a walk-off, whatever you want to call it.
It's a victory in the end. And Milwaukee will take it. Again, the final score here as Gomez trots home. Eddie Cedar saying, make sure you touch home plate. And he does. You don't see this too often, but he was a distraction from the beginning. And you're right, Rock. He was patient over there and took off at the right time, and it turned out to be the game winner.
Yep, and the best defensive team in all of the National League, making 2 errors, and they're going to have to fly home to Arizona, scratching their head about what happened on that last play.
Let's go down now to Drew Olson, who has Carlos Gomez.
Thanks a lot, Craig, the man of the hour. Carlos, we're keeping an eye out for shaving cream pies as we speak. Carlos, let's talk about that last play. He picked over about 8 times with Corey at the plate, but it seemed like you were able to get a good read on his move.
I mean, we tried to pick up. I tried to hear to my coach when the time to go. I'm ready, you know, if I come to pitch run, if it's still back. And I had the opportunity. And that pitch to he do it slowly. I take my chance and I go.
Now let's talk about the footwear. I saw the coloring project that went on. You had the red shoelaces and the red shoes today to make a fashion statement.
No, I mean it's a funny uniform today, you know, for the Italian day, and I told my guys for the Kobe, Jason, to have some color on, and they do a great job.
Now, we know that you're an excitable guy. When you're pacing around in the 7th, 8th innings, what are you doing to get ready for this situation?
I mean, I'm gonna start warm up to the 4th inning. When they call my name in the 7th and the 8th, I'm over ready. You know, it's like prepare for any situation. I know my manager saved me to the specific situation for win the game. They do it today, we gain the game.
He's a specialist, a big part of the victory. Craig, back to you.
All right, Drew, and Carlos Gomez, great job. The Brewers win it 2-1. That's just the first of many player interviews to come. Brewers Live postgame is on deck. Telly Hughes, what do you got?
Boy, what a finish, Craig. The same guy that scored the winning run in Game 5 scores a winning run today. We have much more to get to on this edition of Brewers Live. When we return, Brewers Live will continue.